Hi, I'm Andrea Hatfield. If you're a real estate professional, a home buyer, or seller, radon in indoor air is something you should know about. It is a serious health risk, but there's simple and inexpensive ways to test for it and to fix it if necessary. Like any health risk today, it's something more and more people know about, either through a home sale or through the media.
The National Radon Test is about to begin.
Have you heard of radon?
Radon?
Radon.
Is it something that comes up out the ground or something?
Is that a gas?
Something dangerous that you're supposed to check on to make sure it's not in your home.
It's a naturally occurring radioactive gas that percolates out of the soil and comes into houses.
Radon is the second leading cause of lung cancer.
You can't see it or smell it either, right?
That's right.
Yeah.
And so there was 2,000 deaths attributed to this in California.
The Office of the Surgeon General recommends all homes be tested for radon.
False.
False.
It's true.
True.
New homes can be built to protect your family from radon.
If I don't take care of it, nobody else will.
1-800-SOS-RADON.
You see, she's the brighter sister.
Yeah, I told you.
Sometimes a little comic relief is the best way to deliver a serious message. But once you're aware of an issue, the next thing to do is learn more about it. Radon is a naturally occurring, invisible, and odorless radioactive gas that comes from uranium in the ground. Outdoors, it's dispersed into the atmosphere. Inside, it can enter through cracks in foundation walls and floors or other openings to the ground like a sump and become trapped in your home. This is when it becomes a problem. Research has shown radon to be the nation's second leading cause of lung cancer, right after cigarette smoking. The National Academy of Sciences studied data from minors exposed to radon, as well as from people living in homes with elevated levels of radon.
We have this very extensive data from the minors on one hand and from the general population on the other. We can measure the risks in the two groups, and they give us just about the same signal. The National Academy of Sciences committee estimated that radon was the second leading cause of lung cancer in the United States, causing perhaps 15,000 to 20,000 lung cancer deaths a year. It's a carcinogen that we can do something about by making measurements of radon levels in homes and taking steps to reduce the levels if they are too high.
You should test no matter where you live. Radon has been found all over the United States. About 1 in 15 homes will have an elevated level. Testing is the only way to find out. There are some parts of the U.S. that have potentially higher levels of indoor radon, such as Zone 1, shown here in red. But there have also been homes with elevated radon levels found all over the country, and levels can vary even between adjoining houses due to the type of construction of a home and its local geology. It's important to remember that any kind of house with a high level of radon can be fixed. It doesn't matter whether it's old or new, large or small, single family or townhouse. When a home goes up for sale, it's important to know its radon level.
Sellers and real estate professionals representing sellers, marketing the home for sellers, must always disclose what they actually know about radon in a home. If, for example, it's been tested and identified to have high levels of radon, that must be disclosed to prospective buyers. If high levels of radon have been found and it's been fixed, that should also be disclosed to buyers.
Okay, let me let you follow me out to the deck area.
Nancy Davis is a realtor who's made radon testing and mitigation a successful part of her business.
Fenced in. I think it's just something that we have to learn about and to deal with, and I think that it was something that purchasers and our buyers and sellers were very concerned about because they just didn't know enough about it.
Well, it sounds like this is something that's a frequent part of your transactions.
It is, absolutely, and I think that it's important that we do have a guide, and all the telephone numbers, any questions and answers are listed in the book. If they have any pertinent question, they can call their local office.
So every state has a radon office?
Absolutely, in the District of Columbia as well.
The Home Buyers and Sellers Guide is an excellent source of information on indoor radon, along with the Consumer's Guide to Radon Reduction. They'll introduce you to the most important facts on radon and how to fix it. One of the first concepts to learn is how radon is measured. Here's the magic word, picocuries. Radon is measured in picocuries per liter of air and sometimes in water. Your test will tell you the radon level in the air of your home expressed in picocuries per liter. Outdoor air has an average of 0.4 picocuries per liter. The average level indoors in U.S. homes is 1.3 picocuries per liter. The EPA recommends fixing your home if you find a level of 4 picocuries per liter or higher. You may also want to consider fixing your home if the level is between 2 and 4. If you smoke and have an elevated radon level in your home, you should be especially concerned. Your risk of developing lung cancer can be more than 10 times higher than someone who's never smoked. Okay, now you know the numbers. The next step, how to do the test, or how to get the test done if you're the buyer. You can do it yourself with a test kit like this one for a minimum of 48 hours. Or you can hire a professional. They'll either use a passive device like this one or a continuous monitor. These devices are electric and collect radon level data in 1-hour increments. If you're using a passive testing device, you'll need 2 for best results. There's several different types of tests available today. While a professional test costs in the range of $75 to $200, do-it-yourself kits cost from $10 to $30. You can order kits like these from a phone hotline or pick them up at a retail store. Some tests are made to stay in your home for more than 90 days. While they can give you a reading that's more likely to tell you your home's year-round average radon level, many people selling or buying a home don't have that much time. You'll need to read the instructions carefully. They'll tell you where to put the test device, where not to put it, such as a laundry room or stairway, when to do the test, and how long to leave it in place. Once you've left the device in place for the specified period of time, you send it to a lab to be analyzed. You'll get the results back in anywhere from a few days to up to 2 weeks. But let's say the seller hasn't tested their home and the buyer makes a test part of the contract offer. Typically then, the test would be done as part of the home inspection, and many home inspectors are also qualified testers. Check with your state radon office to get a list of qualified inspectors in your area.
Today we're going to be doing a passive radon test.
Bob Graham has been doing radon testing as part of his business for over 10 years.
It's become quite typical to do a radon test as part of the sales process today, and generally the buyer negotiates that when he signs the real estate sales contract. The test that I do takes 48 hours in place. It's a short-term passive test, and it costs $140.
Home inspectors can also check existing radon mitigation systems to make sure they're working. Graham says he often runs across misconceptions about radon.
Radon is an invisible gas, and there's no way to tell whether it has radon without actually testing the house. It has nothing to do with being an old house, a new house, having a basement, not having a basement. You just simply have to test.
So whether you're the seller who's done the test yourself or the buyer who's hired a professional, what you end up with is the same: a test report showing the level of radon in your home. Now remember, the EPA strongly recommends fixing if the level is 4 picocuries per liter or higher. So let's say you found an elevated radon level. Now what?
Well, basically, we get our estimates. We get the radon experts to come in, and they will give us a range of price, and they'll tell us where they think the equipment should be located and installed.
Well, let's talk numbers, Nancy. Could you give us a range for the cost of repairs?
Anywhere from about $650 to $2,000, and that's pretty much across the country and across the board.
When you think about the cost of the home itself and the cost of any major home repair these days, it sounds reasonable.
The cost is not that expensive. We could be dealing with maybe replacing some windows. It's much less than replacing or repairs on a roof. And it's also important when the sellers are relocating to their new home, they're going to want a test done on their home. And the buyers are going to want to feel safe and comfortable in the home that they've purchased.
Let's say you are fixing an elevated radon level. You can call your state radon office for a list of qualified radon contractors. Then you'll want to check references and get more than one estimate. As we mentioned earlier, many builders are already including radon-resistant features in new homes. More than 40% in the red zone 1 regions and about 20% of all new single-family homes being built nationwide. The features include making the foundation radon resistant. Builders are also installing passive vent piping at the time of construction. Then when the house is finished, you do a radon test to see if you need to add a fan to the system to actively vent radon from the ground. It's cheaper to upgrade the system if you have it roughed in at the time of construction. Paul Jenneman is a contractor who installs radon mitigation systems.
Any house that's in direct contact with the earth can have radon. Old houses, new houses.
Jenneman says even if a house already has a radon system installed, you should still do a test when it's put up for sale.
If you're moving into a house that's got a passive radon system, you should still test for radon. Even if it's got an active system, you should still test for radon. What we're doing here is creating a vacuum underneath of the house, and the radon gas or any other gas in the ground will be attracted to that low pressure field. We're going to suck it out of the ground before it gets into the house and blow it out to the atmosphere where it would normally go if you didn't have a house here.
After the system's installed, test again.
You should always test a house after a radon mitigation system has been put in to assess the operation of the system. Make sure that the radon is an acceptable level.
While more and more new homes are being built with radon-resistant features, what's perhaps more important are the millions of existing homes already out there. Environmental attorney Paul Locke has advised thousands of real estate professionals on their responsibility in disclosing radon information. His advice? Know the basics, know the experts, and disclose early and often.
If you're a broker or agent and you're beginning to list a piece of property, think about radon disclosure at that point. You want to work with your seller to get them to understand that buyers are going to ask questions about radon and that sellers have to answer those questions.
Locke says if you need specific legal advice, consult an attorney. What we've covered in this video is a general introduction to radon. The Home Buyers and Sellers Guide to Radon has all the information we've covered, including the phone numbers for all state radon offices. So call 1-800-SOS-RADON or visit the EPA's Indoor Air Quality website. Learn all you can about radon. You'll breathe a lot easier.